like an even matchup on paper, but James Jones gave us the wow moment in our pre-production meeting because you say this is going to be a blowout.
I say it's going to be a blowout. Like my grandma used to tell me, they're going to beat the brakes off them. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Carolina's going to blow out Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Carolina Panthers are going to beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Listen, they're playing great football right now. And the bright spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers is James Conner. And the bright spot for the Carolina Panthers is their defense and their linebackers, Kuechly and Thomas. And I think they are going to slow him down. I'm going on record saying that he probably won't have 50 yards rushing. They are going to slow him down. They are going to stop him. They diagnose plays so fast, these two right here. I want to say they both were Defensive Player of the Year at one point. They are ballers, and this defense is balling. But with that said, if Pittsburgh is going to compete, I think this is an Antonio Brown game. They are going to shut down the running game, and Antonio Brown hasn't been having the biggest games, yards-wise and touchdowns-wise. This is the game where he shows up with 150, 160, 2 touchdowns to get Pittsburgh to the win if it's going to happen for them. But I don't see that happen. I see Carolina Panthers running away with it.
Okay, if that...
Hey, man. Who are you to talk about football? You've never even played the game. Hey, all you sports host donkeys, you never even played the game. How can you analyze? James Jones, everybody. James Jones. The Carolina Panthers are going to beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight in Pittsburgh. Well, that did not work out. Sorry, James. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I don't love it because James Jones is wrong. Everybody's wrong. I love it because I love when hosts, pundits, commentators, you're wrong. I hope we get to a point where the takes aren't artificially hot because of the fear of reprisal. They're just legit takes. And those takes, Kyle Madson, no matter who you are, they will be wrong because it happens. Welcome into the program.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, hi.
Yeah, you have to, you said it, I think, yesterday on the text line that when you're on the air we're on 15 hours a week. There's people on TV. Grant's on 20 hours a week. Mm-hmm. There's people on TV that are on for more than that.
Mm-hmm. Not counting social media interaction.
If nobody made predictions or discussed outcomes before games, it would be so boring. And the fact that people hold it against people, whether it's us or a guy on Twitter who tweets from his office, like, people make predictions. Like, that's just part of being a sports fan. There's no award for getting it right. And
no.
the like, and I know we love old takes exposed and all that, but
love it.
Don't take old takes exposed seriously. Like, it's just it's a joke. It's like, hey, look, everybody's dumb. Nobody knows what they're talking about.
Don't take yourself seriously.
That's why sports are fun, because we don't know.
No.
We can pontificate.
We can have an educated guess, but you don't know.
We're wrong, at least I am, way more times than I'm right.
That's wrong. No, you're not. Here's the thing, and this is what I often say, unless you're really bad at this, no, I think you're actually right far more times than you're wrong. I mean, I'm using the royal you. You are, I am, but it's a bad call if by a referee or an umpire. It's the wrong ones that stick out. It's the wrong ones, like the 3-17 thing this year. Thank God I was wrong about the Kings. Good. But, again, the ones that are like, 3-17, huh? Well, first off, I'm happy I was wrong. And secondly, dude, where were you last year when I said they'd suck and I had the same contingent of Kings fans? You're a downer. Where were you the year before that? And by the way, I'm not going to go around chasing the optimistic Kings fans. I didn't last year, and I haven't in the last 10 years going, hey, stupids.
Right.
Hey, stupids. Where's that optimism now, dummies? No. We'll make fun of Matt George. But you don't want to crush anybody's eye. We live in this gotcha society. Everyone wants a gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you got your gotcha, dude. How do you feel? Put all your predictions on paper. And let me see all of your predictions and show me your receipts, not just the good ones, and then we'll have a conversation.
Also, if you're relying on me or anybody else for your validation of your team before, or your thoughts about a team,
Yeah.
like, don't. Like, you just...
Some people do, though, man. That's the world we live in. It's weird to take that into account. But, Kyle, some people do rely on you.
Hey, you were wrong.
You were
All right,
wrong.
yeah, and I'm going to sleep fine tonight.
Yes. Well,
Guess what? I'm going to wake up and I'll probably be wrong about something tomorrow, too.
you'll sleep fine tonight. Not if you're at my house, because this is what's happening. Three hours.
Crushed it.
3 hours of that. What'd you say?
Crushed it.
Crushed it. 3 hours of that. We have gone from piano to flute to trumpet. My daughter, apparently my daughter's trying to be, I don't know, insert musician that can play every instrument.
Bruno Mars.
Okay. Really? Oh, okay.
I assume so.
It's like stick to one and get good at it. I'm on this tightrope because on one hand, I love that she is into music. I don't think enough kids get into music. Playing music.
Yeah.
And I want to encourage it, which is why she's had 3 instruments in a year. And by the way, we rent. We're not buying. Just everyone slow down on that. But at the same time, it's like just get good at one. Not good like professional, but master one enough.
Maybe I think she likes the process of learning to play the instrument and kind of just learning the instrument in general. And she's just trying to explore to find which one she likes the most. Like she knows she wants to play an instrument.
Sure.
But like piano, okay, that's great. Oh, I see people playing the flute. I want to try that. Oh, I see people playing. And eventually she's going to land on one and go, this is great. Or she's going to land on one and go, wait, I really liked the flute.
Did I mention she played the flute, or did you just randomly grab that? I did, okay. Yeah, because she's gone piano, flute, trumpet. I wanted her to do piano. I think piano is the best one to learn. Because how cool is it to sit down at a party or
whip
somewhere?
Your coattails out.
Right,
and,
just throw the thing up and
hey, if you have enough to drink, you can do that anyways.
You can. It won't sound great. I need one of those pianos where the keys automatically plays a song.
Oh, like in Pirates of the Caribbean?
And I could just... Yeah. Okay, I had to take a second to know what you're talking about. Or one even better, because that one, the keys automatically go down. I need a piano where there's a little button that can say, like, okay, I'm going to play XYZ piano song. And then, but instead of the keys going down automatically, I push the keys down, but every time I do, it plays the song. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it really looks like I'm playing, but I'm not. Like a lip sync piano. I couldn't do that, man. I wish I could. I had to play. This is like the most embarrassing thing, but I had to play flute. I played flute for 2 years. That was my instrument. It's just not. It's just tough. It's tough to look cool playing.
Did you go to band camp?
No, and no, I didn't, and nope, not the other thing either. It's really hard to look cool playing a flute. Like at all, unless you're leading soldiers into battle with the redcoats. Okay, then it is awesome looking. You got the drum guy next to you. You're playing, or was that a piccolo? Not a piccolo. Is that a piccolo?
I don't know.
Okay.
Piccolo is the guy from Dragon Ball Z, the green one.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's what you're thinking of.
Did you know for like 3 years I thought it was Dragon Balls? No, I'm not joking. Because I would just see it written down. I never saw the show, and it was Dragon Ball and then a Z at the end. And I was like, what kind of show is Dragon Balls? Oh.
It's a little bit what Game of Thrones is about.
Right. Game of Thrones Z. Hey, we've got a big show for you today. And it's Fat and Harry.
Oh, BFHS.
Yeah, it doesn't happen, all the time. Sean Salisbury is going to join us at 7:35. And Dave Richard is in New York City today and could not come on at that that moment that we needed him on from 8 to 8:35. So we had to go to the mattresses to get somebody, and we found a guy named Jay Bilas. You may remember the last time Jay Bilas was on. Jay Bilas is going to join us from ESPN at 8:05, and we'll talk college basketball, and we'll definitely ask him about the Kings. No, at least if I have anything to say about it, no, this will not be round 2 with Jay Bilas. We had that conversation. I actually like the work Jay Bilas does and would like him to be a semi-regular guest on the program. We're not going to, again, if I have anything to say about it, we're not fighting again. Now, if Jay comes on, it's like, hey, Dave, how are you? So, King's still dysfunctional? I can't vouch for that, but I don't think that's happening. So we'll talk to Jay at 8:05. We have Nostradamus for you. Bill James said something about baseball players that a lot of people don't like. The Steelers crushed Carolina. We've got a Kings game tonight. So sit back. We can't make your work life easy, but what we can do is make your commute a little easier. We've got you covered for the next 2 hours and 45 minutes on a Friday. We're back in a couple at Sports 1140 KHTK.
Ben in the shotgun. Blitz. Throws for the end zone. In the back of the end zone, it's caught. Touchdown! What a play by Vance McDonald to keep his feet in the end zone.
How many fantasy football participants, myself included, who were going against a team that had James Conner are counting their lucky stars today? If you'd have told me before the game that the Pittsburgh Steelers would drop a 52-burger on the Panthers, I'm thinking, oh, God, did he have 3 or 4 touchdowns? Oh my gosh. And James Conner still had a fine game. He did get in the end zone. But I can't tell which, and I know that he was pulled early. I know he was in the blue tent. But James Conner had less than 80 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown and a 52-point shellacking, or should I say 52-point on the board by the Steelers. Either way, this was bad.
The Panthers came in with a game plan to stop James Conner and to stop that short passing game to him. And I guess they forgot that Juju Smith-Schuster and Antonio Brown exist.
I mean, dude.
And that's why the Steelers are so dangerous and why they're kind of perpetually scary, because even for all their flaws defensively, they're a machine on offense when they get rolling.
5 different players caught touchdown passes. It's not that often that a quarterback throws 5 touchdowns. Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different guys.
And it was like at the end, it was like they were showing off.
Yeah.
It felt like touchdowns 4 and 5 were like, all right, hey, let's see if we can throw a touchdown to this guy.
Not for nothing, but 5 sacks for the Steelers too.
Yeah.
They got
the
Cam
Panthers
Newton.
did a not so good job offensively.
And when someone gets 5 sacks against Cam Newton, that tells me that against 90% of the other quarterbacks in the NFL, that's probably 8 sacks or 9 sacks, because Cam can be slippery and is quite big and is quite quick. That offensive line did not help him at all last night.
No, and the Steelers' offense put their defense in a position to just pin their ears back and go.
Meanwhile, Christian McCaffrey's having himself a wonderful year, and that's going to get kind of quieted. But 3 touchdowns for McCaffrey. But that didn't matter. So I think we had some of our questions answered yesterday there, Kyle.
Maybe a little bit. I'm still not out on the Panthers, though. I feel the same about the Panthers as I did going into the game.
Really?
Yeah. The Titans went in last year, I think week 10 or 11, and got shellacked by the Steelers and wound up making the playoffs anyways and winning a playoff game, and the Titans were terrible last year.
First segment ever on the drive where you and I both used the term shellacked in the exact same segment, by the way. That's a record.
Did we really?
Yeah, I used it earlier, and then you popped it in right there.
Well, a 52-21 game is actually the literal definition of a shellacking.
What would be the thesaurus on that? I know we got to go here, but drubbing?
Drubbing.
Crushed, blowout.
Smashed.
Tooling.
Obliterated.
Annihilated.
Took to the...
We said blew out. Just destroyed.
Oh, that's a good one. Did you say annihilated?
I did say annihilated. All right.
Lambasted?
Lambasted's a good one.
Thank you.
Lambasted. All right, we'll continue this. Drive question of the day.
Rivers approaches the line to change the play, gives the command to Gordon on his right shoulder. A Takes the snap, looking left, still looking left, throwing left to the sideline. Caught Mike Williams. Breaks a tackle. 10, 5, Mega Mike. Touchdown, Chargers.
Well,
Mega Mike.
The Raiders will take on the Chargers, the 6-2 Chargers, who have won 5 in a row. The Raiders are 1-7. They have lost 4 in a row. The Buffalo Bills have the worst point differential in the NFL at minus 145.
Oof.
The San Francisco 49ers are at minus 32. The Raiders are at minus 111. Bad year, man. I was reading something today, I forget where, I think it was on ESPN, saying that the Raiders might have multiple international games next year. That it's almost certain that they will have a game in Europe, a game in Mexico, and then there's even a thought that they could actually just be a perpetual road team next year. Play more than a couple games in Europe, play a couple in Mexico, because they still haven't made
That would
much,
just be...
right?
Wow.
The ultimate middle finger, because they're not making that big of progress on the lease agreement, and the Raiders have no reason at this point to cut the city of Oakland any deals. It's just a bad situation. I feel bad for Raider fans, and I wish they could all hibernate until the draft, because that's probably the next time they're going to feel good. Because, Kyle, at this point, doesn't a Raider win piss you off if you're a Raider fan?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think after all this, if you're going to tear the team down for the sake of draft picks, at least get good draft picks. Right now, I think they're set to pick 1 and 11.
Yeah.
1, 11, and then whatever the Bears pick. But the Cowboys are
11.
slated to pick 11.
Yeah, and that's got to be a loss pisses you off because it's a loss, and a win will probably. At this point, you're just going to be ticked off if you're a Raider fan.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do
understandable.
about it. All right, that happens this Sunday. We'll have that covered for you right here on the Sporty 1140, number 3.
Bogey, left angle in transition. He's going to go for 3. He's got the triple in the familiar 3-finger salute to the faithful here at Golden One Center. Kings on top 22-14. Welcome back, Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Kings, Timberwolves tonight at Golden One Center. We'll tip off at 7 o'clock. There's no must-wins at this time of year, but in the vacuum of Kingsness, this is a must-win. You got to win this game. As you brought up yesterday, I didn't even realize this. The Wolves are 0-7 on the road.
Yeah.
This should, I'm using easiest with air quotes, but this should be the easiest game of the 4-game homestand. You have an 0-7
It's
Wolves
the
team.
most winnable for sure.
Correct. Because you've got the Lakers coming in who are starting to kind of rustle and bustle. They get Tyson Chandler. That's going to make a little bit of a difference for them on the inside. And then you have a very upset and angry San Antonio team coming in here after that before you go out on the road. We have a lot of NBA to get to at 7 o'clock. We'll preview this game a little bit. And then also, how about those Western Conference Finals participants last night?
Yikes.
Houston and Golden State. We'll talk about the Bucks and Warriors and how basically that means the Kings are really a lot better than the Warriors if you do the math. You look at how the Kings kept it one way and then, they were on the road. What? It was close. Was it a closer game?
No.
Wait, hold on. What?
No, it was not.
It wasn't? Hold on.
No, the Kings lost by 35.
The Kings lost by 35.
The Warriors lost by, I think, 23.
23. But
Okay.
allow for the 15-point spread between
right,
home and
right.
road.
Yeah, it's 15 points for sure.
Tell you at 7 o'clock why.
Although if you ask Kevin Harlan, the Kings and Bucks played in Sacramento.
That played Sacramento. You
Which
caught that too?
He didn't do it once.
Oh,
He didn't do it twice.
Okay.
He did it like 6 times.
Said the Bucks are starting this West Coast road trip. They played Sacramento on Sunday. I saw that one.
Yeah, no. And then he mentioned Giannis' triple-double in Sacramento multiple
Kevin.
times.
I love Kevin Harlan, but
Brutal, dude.
Yeah. We'll talk about that too at 7 o'clock and why. Enjoy it while you can, Kings fans. The Warriors got their asses beat at home, but it really doesn't matter at all.
Imagine talking about a game in early November.
Gosh, imagine losing to the Bucks at home. I don't know. What is that like? I don't know. As a Kings fan, I don't know what that's like this year.
I don't know.
Yeah. Chirp. You got nothing there, guy. we're
Dude, I'm done. I'm done for the show.
You got it. Basically, guess what? Hey, have your parents sign the pink slip to
Hey,
you
you
over
see
to
this?
me.
My hands are tied.
Right. I just took ownership of Kyle Madson. We'll take a break. The Steelers killed the Panthers.
Hey, if you ever talk about my pink slip again on this show, we're fighting.
The Panthers had families. The Panthers had families. What did the Steelers do to them? We'll talk about that next. And Eric Reed and Ben Roethlisberger. We've got to do that, too, on that hit. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Hello, this is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Oh, why is that so quiet? There you go. The NFL got Week 10 underway yesterday. The Steelers beat the Panthers 52-21 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger completed 22 of his 25 throws for 328 yards and 5 touchdowns. That was good for a perfect 158.3 passer rating. Week 10 continues on what?
More like Fines Field because Carolina paid the price.
Kings game's at 7 tonight. They host the Timberwolves. You can listen to it on Sports 1140. Pre-game's at 6:30. Those are your top stories. Back to the drive. I don't care. Fines Field.
Carolina paid the price last night.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Drive continues now.
More like Lions Field because Pittsburgh was out of line with that scoring onslaught.
It's not where I thought you were going with Lions Field.
More like Wines Field because was the Carolina defense drunk?
More like Bynes Field because Ben Roethlisberger's a man. Duh.
Oh my God! Did you just go Amanda Bynes?
Yeah, I did. That's how you can tell I was born in the 90s.
Wow. Okay. Tim Brown's Heisman Trophy is going up for sale. The Heisman Trophy he won in 1987 at Notre Dame, or as I like to say when I played golf with him a year ago, at Michigan, will be sold at the New Jersey-based Golden Auctions. The auction starts online November 19th, closes December 5th. 3 days before the 2018 Heisman will be awarded. Now, here's where it's interesting. Brown sold the trophy last year in a private sale. Now, that buyer's trying to turn it around. The thing is that since 1999, the Heisman Trust has made winners sign a waiver that says they won't sell their trophy. So you can only do pre-99 trophies. Rashawn Salam sold this year for a trophy record of $399,000. Charles White's 79 trophy sold for $184 in 2000. And in 1999, the Heisman Trophy from 1968, that was won by Orenthal James Simpson. Yeah, that
Any relation to OJ?
I'm not sure. Sold for $255,000. I have a feeling that trophy's worth more, by the way. Last month, the family of Yale running back Clint Frank sold his trophy, won in 1937, for $317,000. So Tim Brown's trophy is going to go for a record, like a massive record.
Do you think a Michigan booster will buy it?
I already made that joke while you were on the phone, Kyle.
Oh.
Okay, I already made the joke. I said Notre Dame's Tim Brown, or as I like to say when I play golf with him, Michigan's Tim Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so thanks,
Well,
Kyle.
I wanted to get in on it, too. I'm dogpiling.
Yeah, just pile in.
Yeah. Kyle in.
So the record is basically 400,000. Does Tim Brown's, and this was this year, this was in 2018, Rashawn Salam, his trophy sold for $400,000. Does Tim Brown's trophy break $1 million?
No.
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 What would you put the over-under at? You lay the over-under and I'll pick it.
I'm laying the over-under at 800,000 and a half.
Okay, so you're going double.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go over. I don't know if it'll hit $1 million either, but I'm gonna go over.
Going over 800. When is the sale?
The sale, I said it, by the way, but
Sorry,
I'll tell
dude. I don't.
again.
When are you going to find out? I don't listen to this show.
The auction starts November 19th online and closes December 5th. 3 days before the 2018 Heisman will be awarded.
Got it.
So, good Christmas present.
Can you imagine?
You open up your present. Oh, it's Tim Brown's Heisman. Wow.
I'm going to text my parents after the show and be like, guys, I know I don't typically really ask for things for Christmas, but
here's my question. If you had the money, let's say you had a $2 million budget that a benefactor gave you, but you could only spend it. Ooh, this is a good one. You get $2 million. You can only spend it on sports memorabilia.
Okay.
And you have 5 years. So in 5 years or before, anything you sell, you get to keep the profits. And if you lose money, that's deducted off your profits. You see where I'm going here?
No.
I'm going to give you $2 million if I have.
Okay, I have $2 million.
I'm going to say, Kyle, you could only spend this $2 million on collectible sports memorabilia.
Okay.
Which is, I think, repetitive. And I'm saying you have 5 years to hold on to that memorabilia. If you turn around and sell it.
Within those 5 years or at any point?
Within those 5 years. So you could wait 5 years or do it in 2 years. You get to keep the profit.
Okay.
Okay? And if you buy something, let's say you buy that Tim Brown trophy for $800,000, you wait the whole 5 years, you sell it in 5 years for $300,000. That $500,000 gets deducted off your profits. But at the end of the 5 years, you get to keep all the profits from that $2 million. You have to give me the $2 million back. You can keep the profits. Here's where I'm leading.
Okay.
Is this a good buy? If you bought the Tim Brown trophy, let's say for your price of $800,000, do you think within 5 years you'd be able to turn that? Are you confident enough you'd be able to turn that $800,000 into significantly more money?
No, because I think there's a max somebody will pay for a trophy. And I think that $800,000 is starting to really push that max. Like paying 7 figures for a Heisman trophy. That's a lot of money, man.
You know, people said the same thing about baseballs and baseball cards.
Yeah, and look what happened to baseballs and baseball cards.
I don't know what happened. Did they go down or something?
Yeah, they're not worth anything.
So what do you think would be if you had that money? That was your job. You have an opportunity to get a good chunk of cash here. What do you go out? You go after cards?
I think I would shoes for sure, like Michael Jordan sneakers.
Okay.
I think this is super morbid, but I'd find like really old athletes who might be on their way out in the next 5 years and snag some memorabilia of theirs.
Now, old athletes, but like old, like known athletes. Not like Fred Smith of the Washington Senators.
No. It would, like I said, it would require some research. But I think anything like game used or guys who might be going into the Hall of Fame in the next couple of years.
Arnold Palmer's Masters trophy was sold in 2016 for $444,000. I was trying to find a list of, trophies and stuff. I don't know if a Heisman, how would you even market research that other than Google?
I think that's it. Maybe you ask around to collectors. I'm sure there's really like niche sports memorabilia collectors that you just like, on American Pickers when they find like a Texaco sign from 1965 and Mike is like, oh yeah, I got a Texaco sign guy. Let me call him.
Right.
I'm guessing there's people like that.
It's too bad there isn't a website. We got a break here. There isn't a website where you can look up, like, they have a record of sports memorabilia bought and sold with like a little increase or decrease from when it's sold. So you could just look and go, oh.
Like a table. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Socks seem to be a big profitable item.
Yeah.
I want $2 million to invest. That'd be a fun thing to do.
I got a quarterback puts his socks on backwards, has since high school.
Was that Kyle Madson, or were you piping that in from somewhere else?
That was a clip directly from the computer off Ace Ventura.
The Steelers killed the Panthers. Raiders, Chargers, as I said on the sheet here tonight, that's not right. That's Sunday. And, hey, we have another Le'Veon Bell update for Kyle Madson. Also, a Brandon the Guinea Pig update as well. We'll get to that, next, right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Sean Salisbury will join us at 7:35. Jay Bilas of ESPN at 8:05, filling in for Dave Richard this week, who is unavailable in New York City today. Both guests brought to you by the Fire Wings Hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from, firewings.com. Just wing it.
I think you misunderstood that text from the 209. About LeBron's debut game. I think they mean his debut in 03.
I did misunderstand the text. Good catch. Somebody said, Dave, do you have your tickets from LeBron? From. That's where I glanced at it and I thought it said for LeBron's debut game in Sac. I read that as for his debut game with the Lakers in Sacramento. No, I do not have my tickets from that debut game. And I also said, no, I wouldn't.
That's it. I saw your response, and I was so confused. I was why would you not go to that?
I responded and said I wouldn't go to that game if you paid me, meaning I will not be in attendance.
I think that's a lie. I think if somebody offered you $1,000 to go to that game, you would go.
Well, I'll say this. I've been offered really good tickets for that game, and I will not, and I politely decline, partially because when I get a ticket offer like that, unless it's something I really want to do, I know that somebody else will have much more fun.
Sure.
You will not see me at Laker or Warrior home games.
Right.
Although I have to go to the there's a Warrior game here I have to go to this year for different reasons, but I haven't been to a Warrior or Laker game at Golden One Center, I think, since it opened. I haven't been to one in years. And honestly, I'm not trying to encourage people to not go, so nobody at the Kings get mad at me here. I'm sure the games will be sold out in both cases, but you couldn't. I mean, yes, you could pay me if you want to give me $100,000 to go. Yeah, I'm on my way.
Right. So I just wanted to point out the lack of truth in your statement that you wouldn't go if.
Well, actually, Dave, if somebody paid you
right.
$10 million, yeah, it's a figure of speech, sort of. Nah, I don't want to be. People joke about the whole Warriors and Lakers thing. I can't be around that many of those fans. I can't do it. I could, or at least I could tolerate it if, like, against the Warriors. I would actually enjoy that if we were going to shellac them. But what I can't do is I can't be around that many fans and get our asses kicked.
Right.
It's just not fun. I get too angry and too upset. And let's just be honest, there's going to be a pretty even split, if not an uneven split, of Kings fan versus Warrior and Laker fan this year.
Right.
Because that's where Kings fans make their money, selling their season tickets to Laker and Warrior fans, especially Warrior fans. Warrior fans who can't get into Oracle in the lower bowl because it's way priced out. Right. They can come up here and pay 4X or 5X face value and get in just fine. It's a sea of yellow. And that's why I hate yellow. I can't stand yellow. I'm like, hey, you will never see me wear yellow.
Interesting.
Never. I know you don't pay attention to everything I wear, but ask yourself if you've ever seen me wearing yellow.
No, I
or
do.
gold.
I actually pay very close attention to the colors you wear.
Never worn. You will not see me wear yellow or gold. Just can't do it. From the 916. How can you not go and turn around and tell Kings fans we need to go and not give our tickets up to Laker fans? You're letting them intimidate you. That's kind of lame, Dave.
Oh, snap.
You know what? That's a fair text, and I'll address that. Because I'm not going to tell – this is exactly why. I'm not going to tell somebody who has season tickets to the Kings, because odds are they've had season tickets for years, who buy season tickets to watch the product that we've had in years past. If they want to make some money back, I'm not going to tell them they can't. They're season ticket holders. I'm not going to tell them what they can or can't do with their season tickets. I don't like it when people leave games early. I don't like it when Kings fans don't cheer. I don't like any of that. But I've given up the ghost on that. I can't tell Bob and Sue, season ticket holder, hey, you're watching as people are buying tickets next to you off of StubHub for half of what you paid for against the Charlotte Hornets, and you have an opportunity to sell your tickets for 5 times face value. And I would say to the texter, and I don't mean this with any disrespect, but you're probably not a season ticket holder if you texted me that. Season ticket holders out there right now are probably nodding their heads going, yeah. So,
and maybe some people don't prioritize that.
You mean don't prioritize
yeah,
selling
maybe they
them?
go.
Yeah.
Maybe they go. I will give them to a Kings fan if I can't go, rather than sell them to a Laker fan.
I mean,
which is great.
Yeah, and I don't get me wrong. I hate it. If it was up to me, if I owned the Kings,
you will. When the Kings are good again and the Warriors are bad, you will go to Kings Warriors games.
Yep.
But you don't want to go to effectively an away game.
An away game where we're getting smashed. Now, a discerning texter might go, well, hold on, Dave, isn't that kind of bandwagon? That's kind of bandwagon-y, isn't it? I mean, no, because I'll watch the game. I'll still cheer for my team. I'm just not going to be surrounded by obnoxious-ass Warrior fans or Laker fans on top of watching, in the Warriors' case, my team getting his ass kicked.
It's the same reason I didn't want to go to Niners-Cardinals in 2015.
Oh, down in Phoenix?
When I lived down in Phoenix.
I got you.
I could have gone to that and was like, I'm not going to go watch the Niners stink it up in a sea of Arizona Cardinals fans.
I don't need to watch guy in his Schmedium Kobe jersey.
Well, there's not really any Kobe jerseys at a
small.
Cardinals game. But
Lakers game. Double fisting his, whatever beers, turning around every time Brandon Ingram scores a point. Yeah.
B.I.
What's up, Robert Horry? Okay, dude. I mean, and we'll take a break here. Honestly, dude, here's the thing. I don't want to put myself in a position, and I'm not Billy Badass. Let me just underline that. But if there was ever an everyday situation other than my family being threatened, something serious, for me to get into a fist fight, it would be at a Laker or Warrior game.
Yep.
And that's not a headline I want. And so, you know what? You assess the situation, and you pull yourself out. Can't get in well, I guess I could get in a fist fight at home. But that's just with my dogs.
Dark.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take a break. Yeah, screw that. Kings Wolves tonight. And the Arco building. Looks like the Arco building is having buildings over at the old Arco place. I want to talk a little bit about that, too. That's good to see. Yeah, if I owned the Kings, you're right. If I owned the Kings, you couldn't wear a Laker or Warrior jersey. You couldn't wear opposing team apparel. That's a new rule. Sports 1140 KHCK.